All right, look live, Jarvis. It's playtime.
Hello, folks, and happy Friday Eve. Yes, I do mean Thursday. That means it's time for Spot Show live stream. So let me click the intro on and let's talk about the sport of professional wrestling.
What do you want to talk about?
Wrestling! And here!
Wrestling?
Why?
It's wrestling.
It's wrestling.
Why? Why?
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Why not? Why not?
It's fake. Fake? What the hell are you talking about? Fake? It's not fake.
Fake.
Wrestling's not fake!
Okay, wrestling.
Hello, folks. Ronald Ray here, your boy with a cornbread accent. Welcome you to this week's Spot Show live stream. Got a few things to get to this evening. Going to talk about releases, AEW Dynamite results, some NXT news, and just whatever might pop up in my brain today. Probably not much today. This no, I'm a little stressed out. Going to be heading to a very long few days. That's going to pretty much blend together. Come next week, especially beginning next week, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. I think I might be able to sleep Tuesday. Yes. That's when I'll be able to get a nap in. But anyway, enough about me. Hopefully everybody's doing fine, getting ready for the weekend. Like I said, I got a few things to get to, so let's start with, hey, I'm right here, right at on my notes, AEW Dynamite recap. Here we go, folks. Hello, folks. This is this week's AEW Dynamite recap, recorded live in front of a chat audience here. This week's AEW Dynamite takes place at the Eagle Bank Arena. Yes, I did say it is recorded live as part of Spot Show live stream. So yes, I do encourage folks to tune in to Spot Show live stream every Thursday at 8 p.m. Anyway, with that out of the way, yes, they are building up for the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. So let's get right at it. First match of the night, it is for the TNT Championship. MJF, the challenger, going against the champion, Kevin the Jet Knight. Pretty good little match here. MJF attacked Knight to begin things with. Knight made a comeback, but buckled his knee, doing a backflip. Getting frustrated, MJF grabbed the championship belt, but it was pretty much a deploy to get the referee's attention away from the match. He pulled out the Battle Bowl ring. Was going to use on Knight, but Knight hit smacks in the Hebrew Webos. A small package, 1, 2, 3. Kevin Knight retains. MJF is pissed. He got cheated again. MJF clips the knee. Darby Allin repelled did the sting thing from the roof. Made the save. Told when MJF said, "Hey, I want my rematch," Darby said no, but there is one person that deserves a match next week, and if I do get by Brody King tonight, I say Kevin Knight should be the guy. And Brody King did come to the ring and said, "Hey, don't look past me. I'm gonna bring the violence, whatever," and also went to Kevin Knight and said, "Hey, bad news for you. You'll be facing me next week for the AEW Championship." So either way, Kevin Knight next week on Dynamite will get a chance for the AEW World Championship. Next match, we had the Brawling Birds against Emily Jade and Jordan Blake. Hopefully I got that right. It doesn't matter. The Brawling Birds pretty much chopped down their opponents, then pinned him with the two birds, one stone finisher. Next up for the AEW International Championship, Kosei Okada defending against Ace Austin. Uh, good match here, but again, sometimes you just gotta just finish things. Just finish it. Okada hit a perfect dropkick, countering a Ace flippy move. Was prime set for the Rainmaker, but hey, let's squeeze another minute here. Austin countered a Rainmaker with a backslide for 2. Ace hits the ropes, eats another dropkick, followed by a tombstone pile driver, and then ended it with the Rainmaker. Tag team matching was next. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage versus the RPG Vice. RPG Vice got the advantage after some distraction from Cash Wheeler. Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roger Strong removed their hoodies because they were dressed up as fans in the front row. They dumped popcorn on Stokely and wound up taking out Stokely and FTR. Copeland and Cage made a comeback. Adam popped up Beretta. Cage speared him for the win. Christian broke off a chair brace, gave it to Adam Copeland. He applied the crossface, making Beretta say, "I quit." Next, we had another championship match here for the AEW Women's Tag Team Championship. Chris Statlander and Akuru Shida versus Divine Demented. Chris grabbed the kendo stick from Shida, prevent her from using it, but would actually move her out of the way. Shida tagged in Statlander, kicked her in the stomach before giving her a suplex on to their opponents. Of course, after this, the Divine Demented got the advantage, took over on Chris Statlander. Shida would get a hot tag in. After some near falls, Divine put Shida away with the T gimmick. Roosh made an appearance, smacked around some ham and egger, got the win with the corner shotgun drop kick. And then in your main event, Darby Allin faced Brody King for the AEW World Championship. Darby Allin picks up the win after the coffin drop. And that was your AEW Dynamite recap. Decent show. Okay. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. It was got a little bit of interest. I kind of flaked a little bit on the Chris Statlander Shida Divine Demented match. Could have been just tired, but either way, I kind of just flaked out on that one and kind of stuck around a little bit for the rest of the show. Anyway, this is recorded live. For those of you watching Spot Show, stay with me. But for those of you just tuned in or just getting the recorded AEW Dynamite recap, you folks have a good one. Take it easy and tune in to Spot Show live stream. Alrighty. So that's that. Oh yeah, if you are tuning in, I am alive in living color, as Dusty Rhodes would say. So yeah, if you're up and at 'em, join me in the chat. Let me know, give your opinions, ask questions, or just be friendly. Say hello. Let me know you're there. Let's see what else. Share this with friends, family, enemies, cousins, aunts, uncles. I just say family, so it covers all that. But anyway, like I said, yeah, they're just building up for Double or Nothing. Right now, you got FTR battling Adam Copeland and Christian Cage for the AEW World Tag Team titles. That will be a I Quit New York street fight. I think there's one more match that already been signed, but I totally forgot what it was. Sorry, folks. But like I said, it was a show. Not bad, not great. Just one of those pass the time type deals. All right, let's get into the small stuff here. In case you didn't know. Whoops. Triple H has signed a new multi-year contract extending his time with the WWF to remain the company's chief content officer and head of creative. The deal, reportedly spanning up to 3 years, was finalized just before WrestleMania 42 weekend, signaling stability and WWE's creative direction under TKO Group Holdings. So Levesque will continue to be the sole chief content officer, directing all creative processes following Vince McMahon's departure from the company. The contract is said to be multi-year contract. Reports are saying it's going to be about 3 years. TKO leadership, including WWE President Nick Khan, announced the deal during the Eternal All Hands virtual town hall, expressing high satisfaction with his performance. The deal follows a successful WrestleMania 42 with TKO leadership backing his long-term vision despite some recent creative criticism. Oh, what's up, Joe King? Oh yeah, this is a good time to cheap plug here for tomorrow night's Wrestling Gold Friday night. Going to show an old episode of Pro Wrestling This Week, hosted by Joe Penasino and Gordon Soley. They pretty much went through most of the territories, giving little updates, showing finishes of matches and things like that. So it should be interesting to look at. So check that out tomorrow night, 8 p.m. All right, let's scroll up. Scroll. Okay, let's talk about some NXT. Well, man, let me. All right, so we had a few debuts, but 3 of them was pretty much highlighted heavily on social media. So let's get to those. So there'll be Evil, Will Cruz, and Lizzie Rain. Evil, of course, the biggest name out of the debuts, is a former New Japan Pro Wrestling heavyweight champion. Evil had done just about all there is to do in New Japan Pro Wrestling throughout his career. IWGP champion, tag team champion, never openweight champion, and New Japan Cup winner. Evil was the leader of the House of Torture faction and the company, a offshoot of the Bullet Club, with he himself being a former Bullet Club leader, keeping the company with names such as Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and Kenny Omega. Evil was a polarizing figure in the latter stages of his New Japan career, with fans growing tired of the House of Torture's constant interference in his main event matches, which in many ways would make him the perfect WWE wrestler. Yeah, sometimes they do rely heavily on outside interference for main event matches and things of that sort, kind of keep the heel heat. Instead of just a good old pull some brass knucks out and pop somebody. Actually seen that on AEW a couple weeks ago, but I thought it was cool then. I did mention that. But yeah, seen tapes on them, not that bad. I know Joe, he's not a big fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling, but like I said, I don't see it often. Every once in a while, if I hear about somebody, I go watch some of their stuff. I wouldn't say he's let's see, versatile, I guess, as say Kenny Omega, AJ, or Kenny, but he's all right. And supposedly, I think I know this is soap opera gossip, whatever, but I think he's engaged to or dating Io Sky, so definitely makes him a hero of mine. Good for that dude. Next up, it's kind of funny. The announcer is like, "Is that a fan?" So, but in his defense, he's bigger than half the or 90% of the AEW roster. That's not a gym rat. But anyway, following Evil's debut, NXT champion Tony D'Angelo was attacked by Tavian Heights before he was also then attacked by another debuting star who hit a big moonsault on D'Angelo while being referred to as a fan on commentary. The identity of the fan is British pro wrestler Will Cruz, who has now signed with the WWE. Cruz competed in Progress Promotion in the United Kingdom, where he is a former Atlas champion, as well as competing for Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan, where he teamed with current GHC heavyweight champion and former NXT regular Yoshiki Inamura. So another, international star coming in and see what he does. Like I say, not a body guy. Let me just say that big boy, but not a body guy by any means whatsoever. Okay, whoops. And last but not least, Lizzie Rain made her debut. Gosh, she looks psychotic there. It's like almost like a psychotic Wendy Richter or Bambi. Anyway, on last week's episode of NXT, a vignette appeared hyping the debut of Lizzie Rain, the former Rain Leverkusen, whatever. It was announced that Lizzie would make her debut on tonight's episode of NXT, where she picked up the win in her debut against Nikita Lyons. Lizzie Ryan competed on the European Independent Circuit under the name of Rain Leverkusen prior to signing with the WWE, with her even being named the MVP of WWE SummerSlam tryouts this past year in New Jersey. Outside of wrestling, see, I didn't know this. Outside of wrestling, Lizzie's heavy metal gimmick is a homage to her being the real life niece of Iron Maiden drummer Clive Burr. Joe King, did you see her debut video of her? Gosh, what was it? Fuck. It had a pretty cool. What was it? Anyway, it was like almost a modified version of like a Anziguri kick. She kind of like got on top there and like kicked her opponent in the head. Looked pretty cool. Did look pretty cool, pretty innovative. Gosh, what was it? I knew I was going to forget it. But yeah, she's a tall girl. I don't know. It's messing me up now. I gotta find out what it is now. Thunderstruck. That's what it was. Thunderstruck. Yes, she may be the niece of the Iron Maiden drummer Clive Burr, but she took the name of her finisher from an AC/DC song. So yeah, how tall is that? This young lady. Oops. Okay, looks tall on TV. She's only like 5'7", so she's about as tall as I am. And I've seen a lot of people on the internet kind of compare her to Tony Storm. Remember when Tony Storm was in the WWE? She got, well, Independence too. She kind of had the punk rock gimmick going on. Before she became Timeless Tony Storm. Which I gotta say, as far as AEW too, I'm really starting. They did like a little video promo in the back, whatever, of the Toxic Spider, Tekla, and I'm starting to be impressed with her. She's a little different, a little out there. Anyway, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Let's enjoy a word from my sponsor. I'll be back in just a jiffy. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Ronald Ray here, your boy with a cornbread accent. If you made it this far in the video, you're having fun. You folks know what to do. Everybody says this, so let's go through the whole routine. If you enjoy it, click on that like button. Also, leave me a comment. Give me your opinions on anything I talk about tonight. Ask questions, or just drop a friendly hello. That's always cool as well. Also, if you enjoy listening to a fan, just like you folks at home, talk about the sport of professional wrestling, be a champ, click on that subscribe button. Now, back to our program. But yes, the Thunderstruck kick, that's her finisher. I thought it looked pretty cool. Just depends on how well that finisher gets over, and trying to put the words into it. How easy is it looked kind of easy to counter, but it still looked pretty cool. Anyways, keep the NXT trainer rolling here, because NXT did get some new good news. Let's see. Whoops. So the WWE has sought a major broadcast expansion for its developmental brand with a new agreement that will see NXT's biggest events move onto network television alongside its weekly shows. The deal further strengthens NXT's presence on the CW and marks a notable shift in how fans will be able to watch the brand's marquee specials going forward. The CW Network and WWE issued the following press release. The CW Network acquires exclusive broadcast rights to WWE NXT Premium live events in a multi-year deal. Network will air 20 NXT Premium live events over the next several years, including Stand and Deliver, The Great American Bash, Deadline, and Vengeance Day. NXT Premium live events join NXT's weekly shows live on the CW every Tuesday, bringing all NXT programming together exclusively on the network. And you got a bunch of legal stuff. Let's see. So yeah, the CW has played an integral role in raising the profile of our up-and-coming superstars, and we are excited to bring NXT Premium live events to the broadcast television for the first time ever, says Shawn Michaels, WWE Senior Vice President of Talent Development Creative. Launched by WWE Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque, NXT has aired weekly since 2012 and features the brightest young talent in sports entertainment. Several WrestleMania 42 participants were developed under the NXT banner, including Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch. Led by Michaels, NXT on the CW has showcased the rise of several ascending WWE superstars, including Obafemi, Trick Williams, Tiffany Stratton, Roxanne Perez, Javon Evans, and Sol Ruka. So, yep, basically, yeah. Going to have some definitely good exposure for their young talent, the developmental talent, and good for the fans too to get to see uh, at least the developmental, at least see the stars of the future and see what who may get become the next big superstar, the next face of the company, and all that good stuff. Right now, I'm definitely one of the faces of the company will be Obafemi. Unless something happens, bad injury, he flakes out, something like that, you're definitely looking to face the company. Well, at least, like I said, he's probably going to be a more of an attraction than you know multi-time. I mean, he'll definitely get us world titles, um, but in the long run, he'll be more of an attraction than he is just a champion. So I can see him definitely being one of those people that won't need a belt to be over. So with all that good news coming in, we do have some, I guess, sad news. Depends on if you're fans of any of these people. Yes, it is that time of year again. They did this. It used to be like after every WrestleMania, you get a whole bunch of releases. Then they kind of spread it out a little bit, a couple times a year. But this year they went old school. Right after WrestleMania, just I think it was like 20 plus wrestlers, 25, 24, 25 wrestlers that got their future endeavors, and it's a lot to talk about. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Now, a few of these people, not household names, but there was a few surprises in there. So, WWE LFG contestants Chris Island, Serena Linton, and Trill London all got their future endeavors. London, pictured here, a former NFL defensive back, had a successful tryout in the summer of 2024. WWE confirmed his signing that November, with his pro wrestling coming 3 months later against Keanu Carver on WWE Evolve. Beginning in June 2025, he appeared on season 2 of LFG as a member of Team Michelle McCool. Salo Hill went on to win the respective season in the men's division, though London still continued to wrestle on Evolve and NXT live events. His last match pitted him against Harley Riggins on the March 11th edition of Evolve. Evolve you can watch on Tubi for free. I haven't took advantage of that yet, but next one is Serena Linton. Light Linton. WWE announced Linton's signing in November 2024. Linton joined WWE as a former NCAA All-American gymnast from the University of Arizona. She competed on season 1 and 2 of LFG under her guidance of Mickey James and Booker T, respectively, and her most recent in-ring outing dated February 2026 at an NXT live event. She challenged Fallon Henley for the Women's Speed Championship. And Chris Island, an amateur wrestler for California Baptist University, partook in a WWE tryout during WrestleMania 40 weekend in 2024. The same year, he marked his pro wrestling debut in a mixed tag team match later aired for season 1 of LFG. Like Linton, He sat under the learning tree of Mickey James for season 1, then Booker T for season 2. His last WWE match took place on at an NXT live event in February. Despite their releases, London, Linton, and Island are all set to appear on season 3 of LFG through pre-taped episodes. So that kind of goes into, don't mean to digress though, that WWE, they do seek legit athletes to become possibly future WWE superstars. I don't know how much LFG pays or the Evolve pays. I would think at least enough to keep the lights on, but and a chance to keep moving further up. But it's like anything else. Some people make it, some people don't. Maybe all three, one of these three wrestlers will try their hand at independent circuit and see what happens there. There's Ring of Honor, which did see the something advertised on Ring of Honor online earlier, and this was filled with yes, Tony Khan owns Ring of Honor and AEW, but just seemed like a bunch of AEW rejects. Like, where have they been lately? Then, I guess they're all in Ring of Honor. Also released was Malik Blade. Malik Blade release means the end of his 5-year run with the WWE. Trained by WWE Hall of Famer Devon Dudley, Blade reported to the WWE Performance Center in August 2021, along with lights of Solo Sikoa and Tiffany Stratton. 205 Live served as a platform for his debut the next month, and a lengthy run on NXT then followed. Under the NXT brand, Blade primarily worked with Idris Enough, beginning with the 2022 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and it Blade Enough advanced to the semifinals before losing to MSK. The pair continued to regularly team together until 2024, shortly after which Enough underwent surgery for a shoulder injury. Blade would undergo surgery for a torn ACL and meniscus months later. Enoch returned to the ring in March 2025. Through September, he revealed he was leaving WWE for good. Blade resumed his in-ring action at NXT Live Action in November 2025. A live event match along with Romeo Moreno in February marked the final one in the WWE. Carly Bright announced her departure from the WWE in a lengthy post on Instagram, noting that while this chapter of her professional career was closed, her story is far from finished. Bright, a former cheerleader at the University of Minnesota, jumped into the WWE after a successful tryout during the SummerSlam 2022 weekend. Her pro wrestling debut came in form of a tag team match along Fallon Henley at a NXT live event the next summer. Former Women's Evolve champion Kendall Gray emerged as Bright's recurring tag team partner at future shows, both televised and not. Bright's presence on NXT programming was limited to just a handful of matches, where the last one resulted in a loss to Ren Sinclair in July 2024. And months following, she appeared on TNA Wrestling and Reality of Wrestling, both partner promotions of the WWF, before finding a more permanent home to the Evolve brand in 2025. Bright's final Evolve bout aired on February 4th. NXT live events attendees last saw her in a battle royal determined the NXT Women's Championship #1 contender and on January 2016. While no longer in the WWE, Bright will appear on season 3 of LFG, which kicked off April 26. Lucas Crucifino, a former football player at Duquesne University, which was also released by the WWE. Crucifino, what's his name again? Luca inked a contract with the WWE in early 2022. NXT Level Up later served as the stage for his pro wrestling debut, in which he faced Dante Chen in February 2023. Later the same year, Luca entered the men's NXT Breakout Tournament, but fell short to Tavon Heights in the first round. The following year marked Luca's true breakout as Tony D'Angelo's brought him aboard as the consigliere to the D'Angelo family alongside Channing Stacks Lorenzo. Luca nobly challenged Fraxium for the NXT Tag Team Championship. The pair later pursued the titles once more in a number one contendership battle royal that December. At NXT Stand and Deliver 2025, Luca turned on D'Angelo, leaving Luca to presumably pick a side. Luca instead chose to support neither Lorenzo nor D'Angelo as he wanted to focus on himself as an individual. The D'Angelo family was then put to rest when D'Angelo defeated both Lorenzo and Luca in a triple threat match. Luca wrestled only a handful of matches after that, including one final that aired April 22nd edition of Evolve. The tag team of High Rise is officially no more as Tyson DuPont and Tyreek, the remaining members, have been released from the WWF just 6 months after that of the group's leader, Wes Lee. DuPont and Igwe each partook in the WWE tryouts surrounding SummerSlam 2022 weekend, after which WWE signed both of them to developmental contracts. Both also arrived to WWE with collegiate track and field backgrounds. DuPont represented University of South Alabama, and Igwe competed in Eastern Michigan University. DuPont and Igwe, whatever, made their pro wrestling debuts together in a tag team match at the May 2023 NXT Live event. The following year, they feuded with future NXT Tag Team Champions Hank and Tank in the Best of 3 series on NXT Level Up, with Hank and Tank ultimately triumphing in their third encounter. In NXT, DuPont and Igwe faced other teams such as No Quarter Catch Crew, the OC, and Gallus. Their losses eventually led NXT veteran Wesley to step in as a mentor to further form a trio known as High Rise. As a unit, Igwe, DuPont, and Lee then targeted members of NXT and TNA wrestling rosters. WWE later released Lee on October 25th, or October 2025, leaving Igwe and DuPont to wrestle as a duo once more until respective departures last weekend. Whew. Dante Chen, WWE's first Singaporean superstar. I wonder if he's the first Singaporean to be released as well. Anyway, exits WWE after a 5-year run. So we kind of started to learn a pattern here with some of these people. You get 5 years, and maybe you will have to get your future endeavors. The former SPW Southwest Asian champion marked his WWE debut in successful fashion as he defeated Trey Baxter, now known as AEW's Blake Christian, in an NXT singles bout in September 2021. Across the next 3 years, he competed in various singles and tag team action, at one point even wrestling NXT's tag team championship contender alongside Boa. Chan's first single title match in the WWE came July 2024 as he challenged then NXT champion Ethan Page. Additional shots at the NXT Championship and NXT Heritage Cup emerged at NXT live events the following year. Chan's first and only main roster match pitted him against Braun Breaker, poor fella, a former NXT and WWE Intercontinental Champion on SmackDown. In February 2024, come June 2025, Chen moved to Evolve roster. He finished his WWE career with 9 in-ring Evolve performances, the latest of which saw him face Cam Hendrick on March 18th. Now, if I remember correctly, they were pretty high on this young lady, Tyra May Steele. Her WWE career of Olympic gold medalist, Tyra May Steele, aka Tamira Mensah-Stock, has also reached its conclusion. Steele came aboard WWE in 2023 equipped with a background in amateur wrestling. Her professional wrestling debut took place at an NXT live event in March 2024 with her television debut following NXT's Level Up that July. Steele's WWE breakout materialized in 2025 when she was crowned the co-winner of WWE LFG Season 1. During the show, Steele primarily took direction from her coach, WWE Hall of Famer The Undertaker. NXT head booker Shawn Michaels regularly appeared in the advising role to Steele and other contestants as well. Steele's post-LFG work included split duties NXT and WWE Evolve. On the former brand, she notably teamed up with fellow USA Olympian Tavian Heights to take on Canadians Chelsea Green and Ethan Page at mixed tag team bout at NXT Heatwave. Steele vied for the Evolve Women's Championship on 2 Evolve broadcasts, including one aired April 15th that marked Steele's final WWE in-ring appearance, an 8-woman gauntlet match for the vacant championship. Andre Chase, the leader of Chase U, among those released from WWE's developmental system, Andre Chase is the biggest name. The 37-year-old signed with the WWE in 2021, first appeared in that year's NXT Men's Breakout Tournament. While falling short in the tournament's first round, Chase did break out in another way, specifically launching Chase University, aka University, and stable aimed to educating young wrestlers on NXT brand. Notable Chase U students include Thea Hall, JC Jane, Duke Hudson, and Riley Osborne. Chase U enjoyed 2 reigns as NXT Tag Team Champions, first with Chase himself and Hudson, then Chase and Ridge Holland. The later reign ended dramatic fashion when Holland and Chase lost their NXT titles at No Mercy, with Britt being attacked with Chase U brethren in the aftermath. Holland's path of destruction continued with ambulance match victory, after which Chase faced him in a rematch paired with the stipulation if Chase lost, Chase U will be forced to disband. Holland again defeated Chase, which meant the stable would indeed be no more until 5 months later, when Cale Dixon and Ura Connors helped revitalize Chase and his institution, with Chase often in their corner. Dixon and Connors teamed up throughout the remainder of 2025 and early 2026, at one point challenging the NXT Tag Team Championship. Connors turned on Chase U in February in order to join a newly formed Birthright stable instead. Chase, meanwhile, now ends his WWE run, with Chase U seemingly put down permanently as well. So, now I was reading somewhere, I think he's a veteran of independent, stuff like that. I don't think he was really brung in to eventually be a main roster person. Way they made it sound like he was brung in to kind of be like a player coach in NXT. where you see that's how they kind of established the Chase University stable. Young stars would work under him, be managed by him, and stuff like that, as well as him wrestling in the ring. So that's what made it sound like him being kind of like a player coach, kind of like Coach Dunlock in the Slapshot, except for wrestling, not hockey. One of the surprises, because I know there was like I don't want to say a bidding war, but they kind of did offer him up a new contract, I think, back in October. Let me go ahead and just read the article. Santos Escobar, who briefly entered the free agency market last October, is set to do once more as he too was released by the WWE. The former Legado del Fantasma leader departed the WWE in October following the expiration of his contract. Per reports, though, Escobar and the WWE quickly reached an agreement to bring him back under a new one attached with a pay raise and creative promises. Since resigning with the WWE, Escobar had not appeared on WWE programming. Instead, Escobar reemerged in AAA, a promotion that WWE acquired last year. Escobar initially targeted AAA Latin American champion El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. in January by knocking him out and taking possession of his AAA title. Escobar and Wagner Jr. followed up with a pair of matches against one another in NXT live events in which Escobar triumphed. So yeah, it was kind of weird. They just re-signed him, gave him a bump in pay and all that, and now they just released him. I guess they really didn't have any creative plans for him. Now this is a guy I will say AEW probably does need to grab up. I seen him work babyface, but he'll be probably better as a heel. He was a babyface when he was a member of the LWO, and then he turned against Rey Mysterio. But yeah, I'll definitely say either. Now, of course, TNA could swoop him up too, even though TNA. I mean, it's going to be kind of funny how many of these people TNA does scoop up, since there is a working agreement. But yeah, I think he'd be better served in AEW. I think he has some great matches. Not only with Kenny Omega, but Andre Andrade, of course. Let's see, Darby Allin, Kyle Fletcher if he ever comes back. I mean, he could probably have a pretty good match with any of those folks. So, like I said, AEW might want to give this dude a call. I think they gotta wait 90 days, but at least they're getting paid 90 days. They can heal up some injuries and stuff like that, and maybe hit a gym or something like that and work on some new moves. Kind of keep ring shape if they got a ring or somewhere they got they can find a ring, and like I said, keeping ring shape. Apollo Crews, former WWE Intercontinental champion, found himself amongst the latest round of releases. In his case, this puts into an 11-year run with the WWE. Crews marked his television in-ring debut against Ty Dillinger, aka Sean Spears, in August 2015 as part of NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. By 2016, WWE promoted Crews to this main roster, where he quickly feuded with company veterans Sheamus, Miz, and Dolph Ziggler. Alongside Dana Brooks and Titus O'Neil, Crews began representing Titus worldwide in 2017. Crews and O'Neil nobly pursued the Raw Tag Team Championship, then held by Sheamus and Cesaro with no avail. Their last tag team outing came October 2018 at a WWE live event in which Cruz returned to singles competition on television. Cruz got his first taste of WWE gold in May 2020 by dethroning Andrade as United States champion. Under a persona embodying Nigerian royalty, Cruz also captured the Intercontinental title from Big E. In 2022, Cruz returned to NXT brand as a babyface to confront and then challenge NXT champion Braun Breaker. In between, he defeated Grayson Waller in a casket match. Cruz's final years in WWE brought him back to the main roster, where he split his time between WWE main event and SmackDown. A torn pec Cruz suffered in 2025 rendered him unable to compete for several months, though he later returned to action in AAA event. In November, he resurfaced in a WWE ring through a loss to Talatonga on January 8th edition of Main Event, a main event match against AAA's Mr. Iguana on March 23rd marked his final WWE appearance. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, there was a few times he got injured, wasn't it? It's like they try to do something with him and then you get injured, and just another one of those guys too. I thought he was a talented dude, but because I remember seeing him on the Georgia Independence, NWA Anarchy, I think it was, or Wildside, one of them. Same building, Cornelia, NWA Cornelia. Let's just call it that. And he looked pretty good then. I think he mostly wrestled heels, so he knew how to get heat from people. If I remember correctly. I think one match he was definitely a babyface. But anyway, but yeah, like I said, big fucking dude. Can move, do the flips, very athletic. But once he got to the main stage, made it to the show. Yeah, he was good as Anarchy. Yeah, because he wrestled as Nation. Yeah. And I think we remember seeing him. It was like, man, that dude can be somebody. But he was a former Intercontinental and U.S. champion. It's just for whatever reason things that did not click with him. But another guy, possibly. I mean, I think I heard somebody say, yeah, bring him to AEW, make him a third member of the Hurt Syndicate, which it makes sense. Like right now, ratings have dipped. They lost by 100,000 viewers. I don't know what last night's rating could be, but this made no sense. AEW Dynamite being the number one program, you're getting some advantage. And like I said, like 3 weeks ago when I said, hey, the ratings are coming up, and they all hands on deck, the top stars on there doing something. And now you got, I guess, Hurt Syndicate being on Collision. And then last night I seen a little vignette of Swerve Strickling, I guess, eyeballing Bandito, the Ring of Honor World Champion. So it's like, no. I mean, maybe all that works out for him, but it's like, no, y'all kind of, it's like I said, all hands on deck. It's all your stars anyway. Because I thought it'll be a good 3-man group with them. I mean, I've never really seen Shelton tag with Apollo, but it seems like Shelton can tag with anybody and it'll be good. So I wouldn't be surprised if Shelton and Apollo can make a good tag team and let Bobby Lashley go after that Ring of Honor World Championship. What do you folks think? Let me know in the comments. This another one kind of surprised me. I thought she was still injured, but apparently she's been cleared. I guess we'll get to that. Zoe Stark release follows a period of injury-related inactivity, with fans last saw Stark in action again on May 19th, 2025 edition of Raw, where she, Kairi Sane, and Rhea Ripley collided in a triple threat Money in the Bank qualifier. Minutes into it, however, a failed springboard missile dropkick attempt result in Stark being taken out of the match, and Rhea and Sane left to fight one-on-one. Doctors later determined that Stark sustained a torn ACL, MSL, and meniscus that requires surgery to fix it. According to Fightful Select, Starks recently received a medical clearance to return to the ring. Due to her release, she is now on track to mark her comeback outside the WWE, where exactly what will remain is still unknown, though based on her social media statements, Stark made it clear that she is open to bookings once again. Formerly known as Lacey Ryan on the Indies, Stark joined WWE as a member of the NXT roster in 2021. As a babyface on the brand, she and Io Sky enjoy one reign as NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Following her return from another knee injury in 2022, Stark pursued titles once again, this time alongside Nikia Lyons. When she and Lyons emerged empty-handed, Stark attacked Lyons and in the process turned heel. Stark's heel run continued through her call up to NXT or WWE's roster in 2023. First, she aligned herself eventually and betrayed WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus. Then Shayna Baszler and Sonya Deville formed a hard-hitting Pure Fusion collective. Together, all three battered members of Raw locker room through May 2025. Only Stark remained in the WWE. So I kind of like that little trio they had there. I mean, I thought her and Shayna Baszler made a good tag team. Sonya Deville was, decent enough in the mic to talk for the group, but they why not releasing Baszler and Sonya? Let's start alone. Now I don't know if they was going to give her a promotion, and this is one of those. I think it was this one and Liv Morgan. They were both in matches with Kairi Sane, which we'll get to that later. A lot of people were like, oh, they need to fire Kairi Sane. It's like most of them, I think, I think they were just, accidents, just, miss a little messed up here and there. Joe King, she should go to AEW. Stark would do them good. She's a young enough talent. She's very athletic. She can kind of. I think if they kind of wrestle her, let her work with a couple of them, and kind of get that middle ground of where they don't seem just seems move in slow motion, because Stark was kind of fluent in a lot of things she was doing. Had a incredible, that missile drop kick she did was incredible. Probably, I mean, like Brad Armstrong quality drop kick she had, even without the springboard part. It's a regular drop kick. Again, Brad Armstrong quality drop kick. And her in ring work I thought was pretty good. But yeah, only thing I would be afraid of, she goes there, they'll get her all. I ain't saying she should go in and automatically become champion, but definitely build her up to that point. Because I think I almost want to think they milk that Tony Storm thing till it can't be milked no more. I think she'll be a good opponent for Will Nightingale, who is a little snug herself, but she's really starting to get into and improve. Holly Cameron has improved. What's that? What's the other? What's her name? Bain. I can't remember her first name, but I think she can. I think she can pull some good matches with her and say, look, we can do this next stuff, but I think Stark will be more than happy to lay one in if she has to for a receipt. So, but yeah, I think Stark would be a good fit for AEW as long as they realize what they got. They got a puppy with a big paw. She still ain't filled them yet, but she is definitely getting there. She already has mechanics. She just needs to push now. Now this one's kind of sad. Out of Fire. Yeah, yeah. Zoe Stark has some potential. Out of Fire has some potential too. Initially bursting into WWE scene as Kaylee Ray, Out of Fire departs the company with a storied runs in WWE, NXT UK, and NXT as well as what was an ongoing one alongside Chelsea Green and WWE's main roster. Fire, a native Scotland, partook in WWE's inaugural Mae Young Classic in 2017, though a loss to Princess Shukit took her out of the tournament in the first round. Still, she returned for international six-woman tag bout along the road to the NYC Finals, Mae Young Classic Finals. Fry's Mae Young Classic outing marked her only WWE-related appearance for 2 years until a deal landed her a spot on the NXT UK brand in 2019. It was here that Fire arguably found her greatest success, as the victory over Toni Storm laid the groundwork for her 649-day reign as NXT Women's Champion. During it, Fire, as Kaylee Ray, conquered the brand's hottest stars, including Miko's Satomura, Jeannie, Storm, and her future tag team partner Piper Niven. Satomura later unseated Fire in a rematch with NXT UK in her rearview mirror. At this point, Fire moved stateside to NXT brand, where an alliance with Io Sky resulted in them winning the 2022 Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And in months following, Fire set to capture the NXT Women's Championship on multiple occasions, but fell short. She and Isla Dawn, known as the Unholy Union, did triumph in their pursuit of NXT's Tag Team Championship and later WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. However, 5 months later, the Unholy Union lost the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. WWE released Dawn, which I thought Fire and Dawn was a hell of a women's tag team. I mean, the one triple threat they had at, I think it was wasn't WrestleMania. It might have been Clash in Paris or something like that. One of the European clashes, but yeah, all the matches they had, they were definitely the stars of the match. They worked very much like an old school heel tag team, which was, like I said, it was. I was sad when they released Dawn because I thought her and Fire was a hell of a tag team. Anyway, WWE released Dawn, which briefly left Fire alone on the main roster. Fire found new allies in the form of Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, the former whom she helped retain the Women's United States Championship in March 2025. Together, Fire and Niven formed a loyal secret Hervis, with Fire respectively being called Slagent A. Even though Niven's injury-related absence and Green's recent ankle injury, Fire continued to lend her vices both in ring and backstage while wearing a formal suit. How WWE will approach Green's patriotic storyline now following Fire's release is yet to be seen. So, So yeah, unfortunately, yeah, Piper and Green got injured and she got released. I did not get the out of dawn. I mean, like I said, those the Unholy Alliance or Unholy Union, excuse me. In my opinion, they were a hell of a tag team. Um, now that now AEW's got their own women's tag team division. Also, well, I guess Out of Dawn is with AEW, so hey, bring fire in, put them together. Let's let's get that thing going. And don't bring them in just to do jobs to everybody. They're too good for that. Um, I ain't saying just put the straps on, first thing, of course, um, but they can definitely work. They do have a um, give them a couple matches, get reestablished, uh, and get all the kinks worked out. Then hey, let them loose. They could probably, at least for AEW, probably go down as one of the best women's tag team, if not all of wrestling. Definitely AEW. But that's how highly I rank the Unholy Union. Again, this is just all my opinion. Also on the chopping block was Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. Did not think this would last this long. They made their WWE debut as a team, and two have now been released from the company. On the heels of their exits from TNA Wrestling, Shelley and Sabin signed with the WWE fall of 2024. Their first in-ring outing proved successful as they bested A-Town Down Under and Los Garza in a triple threat bout. Even more successful were Machine Guns' second and third matches, which solidified them as the number one contenders. Then the WWE Tag Team Championships on SmackDown. Mercy Machine Guns' run as tag team champions was short, led by an exciting feud with DIY, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa. After being dethroned by DIY December 2024, Machine Guns battled them for the gold in a series WWE live events and a best of 2 out of 3 falls match at the Royal Rumble. I do remember this Royal Rumble tag team match. It was a great tag team match. One of the best in the last few years. But guess what? The fans did not give a flying shite. They pop for a few little things here and there, but for the most part, they were dead. I mean, this for a match like this, and the fans being so dead silent on it was just bad. Not a good look. So after that, I was like, maybe this is probably one of the last times that Machine Guns will be on a pay-per-view. Their pursuit of gold didn't stop there, though, as Sabin and Shelley continued to vie for the titles throughout 2025, including at SummerSlam, where Sabin and Shelley competed in the aforementioned six-pack challenge ladder match, also involving the White Six, DIY, Faxion, the Street Profits, Andrade, and Ray Phoenix. In the early months of 2026, Machine Guns primarily appeared in backstage segments involving Johnny Gargano, who, following Ciampa's own WWE departure, suffered a mental breakdown. As Shelley repeatedly offered to help Gargano, Sabin questioned his partner's commitment to their work as a team. Shelley proved that he was when he and Sabin defeated Fraxium in the next week's WWE's Blue Brand. Their last on-screen outing came when they competed as individuals in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on April 17th. So yeah, I will say go back, watch that one SummerSlam match. Great match. Just the fans just was not with it, not one bit. I don't know if it's because they really didn't want to boo DIY or they just didn't really care for any of the tag teams. But it was a good match, though. This was kind of caught me off guard. Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, they're both out of here. In Black's case, his exit comes just 1 year after he marked his return to the WWE with a kick to The Miz on the SmackDown episode following WrestleMania 41. From there, Black defeated The Miz and Carmelo Anthony in singles competition, then dove into an extended feud with former WWE World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest. The Priest Black story began in July 2025 when a loss to R-Truth via roll-up led to Black lashing out backstage and Priest trying to calm him down. Instead, Black attacked Priest on multiple occasions, prompting Priest to retaliate with his own. In October, Vega helped Black defeat Priest in a last man standing match. Priest summoned his Terror Twin, Rhea Ripley, shortly after, resulting in a mixed tag team win over the mystifying foes to even the score. This rivalry eventually concluded with Priest coming out on top in the ambulance match in January 2026. The following month, Black bounced back with a huge victory over WWE veteran Randy Orton in the main event of WWE SmackDown. Moreover, WWE's creative team reportedly picked him to defeat Orton yet again during WrestleMania 42 weekend. Eventually, though, those plans fell through as Black competed in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal in what would be his final match under WWE banner. In Vega's case, her return to WWE in 2021 brought the distinction as the company's first ever Queen of the Ring alongside Carmella. She then enjoyed her reign as WWE Women's Tag Team Champion from November 2021 to April 2022. Her ventures in the tag team division continue when she aligned herself with Legado del Fantasma, which eventually became part of the larger Latino World Order. Vega left the LWO upon her move to WWE's Blue brand in early 2025. The same night, Black reemerged in WWE. Black unseated Chelsea Green as WWE Women's Champion, United States Champion. Then the reign spanned 2 months as Vega later lost to Julia in late June. So, husband and wife team are gone. Kind of surprising. And there was rumors that Aleister Black was going to be the mystery man instead of Pat McAfee. Again, rumor in windows. It's the internet, so yeah, it's the internet, so it must be true. So, would that have got over better than Pat McAfee? Don't know. Not sure. Aleister Black is kind of better. If he's going to do that, what is going to be? Orange, mouthpiece? Yeah. That's one of those things I don't guess they really thought it through. They can't all be, winners, folks. And here we go. The White Six, of course, also is out of there. Uncle Howdy, Nikki Cross, Dexter Loomis, Eric Rowan, and Joe Gacy. Uncle Howdy, of course, is Bo Dallas. Coming together in 2024 as a tribute to late Bray Wyatt, the entire Wyatt Six faction. Uncle Howdy, Nikki Cross, Dexter Loomis, Eric Rowan, and Joe Gacy has all been released. Following several weeks of cryptic clues and QR codes, the Wyatt Six unveiled themselves as a unit June 17th, 2024 edition of WWE Raw with a trail of motionless executives and wrestlers left in the wake. The Chilling Group's first official targets were American-made Chad Gable and the Creed brothers, and the Final Testament, to whom they feuded throughout the second half of 2024, respectively. Upon the faction's move to WWE SmackDown brand, Gacy and Loomis dethroned the Street Profits as the WWE Tag Team Champions. A grueling six-pack TLC match occurred shortly after at WrestleMania, in which Gacy and Loomis retained the championship. From November 2025 until April 2026, the White Six found themselves primarily pitted against the MTFs, led by Solo Sikoa. During this extended program, Sikoa and Tomatonga defeated Gacy and Loomis for the tag team gold. Sikoa also gained possession of White Six Lantern, which to honor Bray Wyatt. The White Six MFT storyline concluded in a 8-man street fight on April 17th edition of SmackDown. The MFTs emerged victorious. Nikki Cross began her career in 2026 with reigns as WWE Women's Tag Team and Raw Women's Champion in the years following. Bo Dallas, who laid under Uncle Howdy's mask, is the real-life brother of Bray Wyatt and initially departed WWE in 2021. Eric Rowan was part of the original Wyatt family alongside Wyatt and others. Dexter Loomis left WWE in April of 2022. Following a run at NXT, he returned to the company 4 months later. Joe Gacy signed with the WWE in 2022, notably leading the Schism stable in NXT before linking up with the White Six on the main roster. And last but not least, the most surprising, it's kind of shocked me because, she's in a storyline with Asuka and Io Sky. Kairi Sane exit came as a shock to fans and colleagues, especially as she was played an integral part in the ongoing storyline between her fellow Joshi wrestlers Io Sky and Asuka. At one point, many within the WWE pushed for Sane to be added to their long-anticipated payoff match, effectively making it a triple threat. That possibility is no more, as Sane's latest WWE run, which began in 2023, has come to an end. I'm truly thankful to have the people like you by my side. Thank you always for being with me. I'll set sail in my own time. Until then, I love you. Sane wrote on X following the news. Sane originally left WWE in December 2021 when her contract expired. Following a successful run in New Japan Pro Wrestling and Stardom, she then returned to the WWE bubble in November 2023 in order to help Sky retain the WWE Women's Championship at Crown Jewel. This naturally led to Sky to join Damage Control stable along Sky, Asuka, Bayley, and Dakota Kai shortly afterward. With Bayley splitting from the group and Kai being released from the WWE early months of 2025, Sane, Asuka, and Sky briefly carried the Damage Control name as a trio, though it later dropped altogether due to Asuka and Sane's betrayal of Io Sky. Once again, the Kabuki Warriors, Sane and Asuka, held the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship for nearly 2 months before losing them to Sky and Rhea Ripley on the first WWE Raw of 2026. The Pirate Princess leads WWE as a one-time NXT Women's Champion, a 3-time Women's Tag Team Champion. How the company will approach the Sky Asuka program in her absence now remains as seen. So, yeah, it's kind of because she was getting like a lot of TV time, not really being jobbed out or anything. It looked like she was the almost really want to pull away from Asuka. So you could possibly see Asuka and Io having that match, and then finally after I guess Sane messes up where that causes Sky to win, Asuka was smacking around, saying around again. Then Shayna finally said, "Screw it," and uh, attack her back. Stand her ground. And Asuka Kairi Sane would feud. But and another pretty good tag team too, the Kabuki Warriors. They were decent. I mean, the first run as Kabuki Warriors was better than their second one. But um, yeah, this one. Now there was a rumor that possibly she was more or less ready to leave anyway and go back to Japan, her home, but uh, apparently she kind of answered those rumors as false. So who knows what's going to happen with her? I don't know how. I imagine all these wrestlers do have the 90 days, so a lot of them would be like, okay, let's nurse the injuries. Let's, um, I mean, I don't think, AEW is going to take them all, especially the White Six. Maybe Dexter and Gacy, because they were pretty decent little tag team. Um, Maybe later on, I guess uh, if Bo Dallas wants to get back into it, it almost seems like Bo Dallas seemed like he didn't really care to wrestle anymore. So it could have been part of it, but but yeah, the White Six is one of those things. Right out of the gate, they were like really over. Then just like that, it was like nobody cared. That feud with the Final Testament, nobody cared for. They lost to I think it was like a 8-man or 6-man or 8-man tag where the Final Testament won. Then they wound up releasing everybody but uh, Karrion Cross from the Final Testament. Then eventually they would release him as well. Um, but they've already, there was a match with Io Sky and Becky Lynch. Asuka interfered, and Asuka would go on to attack Io Sky after the loss, and the crowd was chanting, "We want Kyrie, we want Sane," or whatever, which was funny. As I mentioned, there was two matches where Kyrie Sane was involved with, where Zoe Stark got hurt and Liv Morgan got hurt, and they kind of put the blame on her. But you watch it; it was accident. I mean, in the Stark match, I think she was kind of out of place. If she was a few steps, further, because I remember that you can hear her start going Sane, and when she turned around, it's like, oops, and then crashed on that ankle. But the Liv Morgan match, it was like it's a simple little reversal, and wound up, I guess, separating her shoulder or something like that, causing Liv Morgan to be out for a little bit. But now look at her, Liv Morgan's the WWE Women's World Champion. But people kind of almost compare it to like when R-Truth got released, or his contract went renewed, not really released. His contract wasn't renewed, and it got renewed. So maybe it's, we did release her. It's like, oh, fans want her, so we're going to have to bring her back too. So if the fans keep supporting her return, and like I said, it was kind of strange because she was very much, plenty of TV time, all kinds of TV time, and wasn't really being jobbed out or anything. Then they released her. But uh, but yeah, so like with the White Six, I just don't know what they'll do. Um, I can almost see in Bo Dallas kind of hanging it up. Nikki Cross, who knows? Now she might turn up on AEW or TNA. Dexter Loomis, Joe Gacy, same thing, either AEW or TNA. Now, will they be pushed to the top of the tag team? Yeah, probably not. Or maybe Joe Gacy he'll become a probably not a main event player in AEW. Just depends on how well the crowd reacts to him. Same way Dexter Loomis. Or maybe they say screw it. You know, maybe Billy Corgan and pay them guys just enough money to pay the taxes and keep the lights on. Maybe they both maybe all these people like everybody in the White Sixes probably got houses that are bought and paid for, and they just need to pay those property taxes and put food on the table and lights out. Oh, has she? So I guess she's either gonna go probably independence maybe. And that's the thing too. They can probably get like, you know, top. I mean, Japan is also an option. I think Dexter Loomis would do good in Japan as well as Joe Gacy. And of course, I think they also got that 90-day non-compete clause. But they can still kind of reapply their names and uh, change their looks a little bit. Um, Now, apparently, supposedly, AEW doesn't want Aleister Black back at all. Um, Supposedly. I can't understand why you wouldn't pass it up. I mean, put the House of Black back together, and they were pretty dominant in their day. But Machine Guns, again, they could probably go back to TNA, do Japan, do Indies, maybe a little run in AEW. Who knows? I'm pretty sure they can still have some um have some matches with FTR or whoever. Yeah, everybody's kind of excited about the Wyatt Six. It's just I forgot what I heard of. They can't the paranormal whatever creepy occultish like. I mean, it worked for Undertaker. Whatever they did with Undertaker, it worked. Um, but they just can't really find that niche. And it worked with Bray Wyatt. I mean, Bray Wyatt had to kind of change things here and there, but it worked with Bray Wyatt. It's just some reason they just didn't know how to handle the Wyatts again, and or the Wyatt Six. I mean, they did great debut. They let a bunch of people lay in, but once you go there, where do you go from there? And they did not know where to go. I mean, it's kind of hard to have them be baby faces and do the creepy crawly heel time stuff. Yeah. Um, hold on a second. But yeah, I just don't think they. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much Bray's vision, and the writers didn't know how to take that vision, and um, unfortunately, Bo didn't either, or Bo didn't really um, didn't think he had a leg to stand on or anything like that, where he could have just put his foot down and creative and said, no, this is what he wanted, and uh, or this ain't gonna work right. Yeah, and that's kind of if you're going to torture souls, you gotta be a heel. I mean, The Undertaker, he came in as a heel. Tombstoneman, stoning people, torturing their souls, however you want to call it. You can't really do that being a babyface. I mean, even when the Wyatts first came in, Bray, Eric Rowan, and all them, they were heels. Eventually, they got popular, but um, and maybe it could have been one of those things where if they just, yeah, I mean that kind of double-edged sword or whatever, and maybe it could have been just one of those deals where maybe I wonder if that maybe if this would have worked better if they just kept it with Uncle Howdy and Eric Rowan. Just let them two come. Maybe with Nikki Cross, but just have them two come in, probably to say we just don't have nothing for Joe Gacy or Dexter Loomis. But I guess Uncle Howdy and Eric were kind of the cleanup crew, but um, and they need whether they've had injuries and stuff like that, they couldn't take too many bumps. Therefore, they had to have Gacy and Loomis to be the workhorses for that group too. But yeah, didn't need a bustard in the pig. Or maybe they should have had this a one-time short 1 year to 6 month to 1 year run and leave it at that. Just came up with one complete storyline and just and it kind of be like, yes, this is a tribute to Bray Wyatt. Then once that 6 months to a year storyline ends, just leave it at that. But anyway, well, I think I'm about to call it a night here. I gotta get things packed up and ready to go. Get to go home tomorrow. Remember, check out tomorrow night's Wrestling Gold Friday night, where we talk about the good old days of professional wrestling, back when wrestling was wrestling and wrestling was real, because damn it, it is still real to us. Anyway, you folks have a good one. Take it easy. And until next time.
So long from the peach state of Georgia.
Ronald Ray here saying thank you for checking out my video. If you don't mind, go ahead and click that thumbs up button, leave a comment, and share this video with family and friends. I would also appreciate it if you would subscribe to RP2 Vision, where I cover the sport of professional wrestling from yesterday to today. Now don't forget to click the notification bell as well, so you'll be notified when my other weekly content is available, like Wrestling Trivia Tuesday, WWE Raw Recap, and AEW Dynamite Recap. I also have 2 live streams. Every Thursday at 8 p.m., it's Spot Show Live Stream, where I discuss the latest news in professional wrestling. And on Friday nights at 8 o'clock p.m., it's Wrestling Gold Friday Night, where I discuss the good old days of professional wrestling. When wrestling was wrestling, wrestling was real because it's still real to us. Folks, have a good one, and take